This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 772 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you, one day at a time. Today's tip is brought to you by Wintec Saddles, featuring the Easy Change Fit solution. Hi, Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip is from the Dressage Radio Show, episode number 198. Dressage Radio Show co-hosts Reese Stanfield and Philip Parks present their favorite, not just for dressage riders, tips, gleaned from none other than Carl Hester. And we'll get to it right after this from Wintec. Too many riders know the frustration that comes from their saddle not fitting or no longer fitting. Many hours and many more dollars are often spent trying to compensate for a poor fit or buying another saddle, only to have the same thing happen again months later. Enter the Easy Change Fit solution, available on Wintec Easy Care saddles. By combining the Easy Change gullet system introduced over 15 years ago with the new Easy Change riser system, Wintec now offers an unparalleled scope of adjustment for a total fitting solution that's not only easy, but measurable, giving total confidence to be able to make changes to the saddle. Whether you're a serious competitor or ride horses for the sheer joy of it, choose a saddle with the Easy Change Fit solution that puts your horse's comfort first. Enjoy the peace of mind in knowing that your saddle offers full adjustability and is able to meet the changing needs of your horse. Find out more today at easychangefitsolution.com.
You found some tips from Carl Hester online, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess these came out not too long ago, but he had posted 35 great tips about not just dressage, but a little bit about everything with riding, and I thought this would be a great topic. Dressage is not just for competition. It is gymnastics for horses, and all horses can benefit from it, as they are more likely to stay sound with a long, stretchy neck, soft body, and easy movement. So this is a great tip for all riders. You can do a little bit of dressage. I mean, I don't just help dressage riders. I help some hunter riders, some eventer type riders that they just wanted, a little bit of help with their dressage to make their horses a little bit better all-round athletes. So I think it's great. I think about dressage as kind of yoga, some yoga for horses that need to stretch and be better in the contact and be more confident, relaxed. I think it helps in all aspects. So that's a nice tip.
No, I love it. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I feel exactly the same way. So number 2 is when a horse is tired, he'll try to stretch down. Let him do it for a while, as it's something you want to encourage. To stretch your horse, lengthen the reins, lower your hands, and massage his mouth with the bit by gently squeezing and releasing each rein. Stretch him regularly throughout your training sessions to relax him and to reduce the risk of tension. Yeah, I think this is a great tip.
This is a good one too, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good tip. We have talked about on the show, we talked about sort of what that stretchy circle and how it is to ride. But, I typically, my favorite are hotter type horses. And like we were talking about with my black mare, I did a lot of this in the beginning and let her stretch and bring her back up so that she learns. And I do it a lot with my young ones too. So great tip. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to dressage if it's tense, right? It's not beautiful. It's not good for the horse. It's not good for the mind or the rider. So keep them relaxed. They can't work, for an hour straight, especially if you're trying to improve them. Give them breaks, right? I think this is just about having a relaxation break. So number 3, in canter, always go forward. Imagine there's a big jump at the end of the long side and you're going to take it on. I like this. This is all about just go, go, go. That's how the horse develops a big stride in the canter, a big jump, upward kind of moving. You can't do it if you're always shutting the horse down and pulling on holding and the reins. Just, release the reins a little bit and go forward. That keeps things fresh and exciting.
Love it.
Sometimes a little too exciting, maybe.
Yeah.
Be brave. Be brave. Let go and canter. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Dressage is about, this is number 4. Dressage is about repetition. Repeating exercises over and over again until it becomes part of your horse's way of going. It takes dedication, but it is simply about producing a well-schooled horse, something we all like to have. Yeah, I think it is about repetition. I the only thing I would put here in my own program is, do you have to be careful? You don't want to repeat so much that your horse, frustrated or upset. Right. But they do learn. Horses do learn by repetition. Yeah. So it is.
There's one thing I'd like to add. I mean, this is something from Cindy Ishoy, who I train with a lot. That she's, practice doesn't make perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. You know what I mean? So
I like it.
This is eyes on the ground to say that's the way to do a half pass, or that's the way to have shoulder in. Practice that. So practicing away isn't helpful if it's wrong. So get as much help as you can, even if it's a friend, to say that looks right or whatever. But eyes on the ground. We talked about that with a lot of trainers who come on and give us training tips, and I think that's really important when you're talking about repetition. So I think number 5 here is, even if your thing is dressage, mix your horse's schooling up with hacking, jumping, as it will keep him relaxed and interested.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Yep. Just do different things. Keep it interesting. Don't just plug away every day and repeat the same thing over and over again. Repetition is good, but you got to switch it up. They're horses, right? And they love to run. They love to jump. They love to do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So number 6, always compete at the level below the one you are working at home. So you're able to cope with the competition where there are many more distractions. I like this. I do like this.
Yeah, I think we try and follow that,
Yeah.
Myself, I'm a little bit of, liking to take on a challenge, when I'm, showing the horses. I like, but it is important to just take a step back, make the work easy enough at a show that it's not stressful, and that you're not stressed thinking, oh, well, last day we didn't get the 4s and I really want to ride the St. George, but, everything's not perfect yet. Just take a step back, show at 4th level or 3rd level, and let your horse build confidence,
But I would also say, and here's my thing, I'm just going to add it real quickly, and that is, if you can't do it before you send the entry in, don't send your entry in. I have a lot of students that are like, oh, I want to do 4th level test 1 or whatever level it is. Yeah. And I say, okay, well, let's ride the test before you send your money in.
Yeah.
And if you cannot ride it that day, or okay, maybe not that day, but the next day, don't send it in. Wait another few months. And I think that's really important. You were like, I really want to get my bronze medal score or whatever it is. And you forget that that's maybe not the best idea always. A challenge is good. I like a challenge. And I think there are times, for example, my mare is kind of working between St. George, and we've talked a lot about her today, but St. George and 4th level. But I really want to try, if I'm going to show, to get a qualifying score. So we did this today. I rode through 4th level test 3. I wanted to see the shows in another month and a half. It's the end of April. I thought, well, let's see if she can do it. And for me, she could do the test today. So I thought, okay, I think this is a realistic goal. I'm not quite showing, obviously I'm not showing the level that I'm competing, but I'm comfortable with the test now, and I still have a month to work on it. So that's another thing.
That's pretty good. All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Number 7, mirrors are a huge help in training, as they enable you to see what your horse is doing. For example, how do you know whether he is straight without being able to see him? So again, that's, eyes on the ground can also be your own eyes if you've got mirrors. I think it's nice to try and set that up. And you see in Florida tons of outdoor rings with mirrors on them. That's really helpful.
Yeah. So we are on number 8. Working in is one of the most important aspects of dressage. You want your horse to be long, round, and stretching before you start more taxing work to get the muscles in front of and behind the saddle soft and working. Gymnasts don't hop straight onto the top bar. Ideally, walk for 10 minutes to start with, but if your horse is fresh, it's best to trot and settle him down. So I think the working in is his way of saying we need to warm up. Exactly.
Yeah. Everybody needs to warm up and cool down. I think that's really important. Number 9, your horse must work in front of the leg. This means that he should move forward on his own accord and not expect you to keep motivating. For example, if you ask for canter, he must learn to stay in canter without any leg pressure, any at all, until you tell him otherwise. In lessons, I'm constantly working on this. This is a tough thing because you got to work on it every day. That your horse stays in front of the leg. You're not pushing every stride. You get really tired really fast, and it doesn't go well if you are the motivator every single step. So, that's a real great basic advice.
I think we all. I mean, that's just something you work on all the time. Sort of like responsiveness to the leg, responsiveness to the half halt. I mean, these are things even at Grand Prix level you're working on. Yeah. So number 10, if your horse is not responsive to your leg, ask for a halt with a loose rein. Give him a sharp, quick tap with your leg until he moves forward. It doesn't matter what pace he goes into, just let him move forward. So this is a great exercise, actually.
Yeah. That's just the most basic, if you got to implement the gas pedal, right? I mean, if you have no gas pedal, you don't have dressage, that's for sure. So it goes along with, I think at least 3 of these tips are about going forward, right? And I think that's something that we forget about when we're trying to control some other aspects, the sideways, the bend, this or that. If your horse isn't going forward, you got nothing. So, so important.
Love it. Love it.
And that's a wrap. If you enjoyed Reese and Philip chatting about all things dressage, you can tune in every week at dressageradio.com. You can also find lots more tips about becoming a better rider at horsetipdaily.com. Just look for the topics drop-down menu on the left. Don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily because they make these podcasts possible. Today's tip has been brought to you by Wintec Saddles, featuring the new Easy Change Fit solution. Please stop by the Horse Tip Daily Facebook page and let us know what you think of the tips you hear on the show. It's also a great place to tell us about topics you'd like to hear us cover on the show. You can subscribe to all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network through iTunes or Zune and get your horse podcasts automatically downloaded to your iPod, Zune, or MP3 player. You can also listen to the shows right on Facebook. The player's right there every day. I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, go ride your horse! The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.